Hey everybody, welcome me back. Yes, that's right. I'm back with an all-new Rockstar Superhero podcast. I also have a cold, a really, really bad cold. But don't feel sorry for me. I had an amazing week. I had a chance to interview 3 extraordinary people / groups this week, and 2 coming up next week. So I'm absolutely set up for the rest of the year, which thank God that exists, because as you well may be paying attention now, Spike O'Neill and I have a second podcast called Spike and Jones. Just recently went live on iTunes. And needless to say, that is a weekly endeavor, and that has packed my brain completely out. So I'm overloaded, overworked, and a fool, and yet I am trying to do my best to create content that somebody in the world actually wants to listen to. Hopefully, somebody besides myself. So this week, on my podcast, Rockstar Superhero, you're going to hear the incredible stylings and life story of one Tom Erak. Now, a lot of people might say, I don't know who Tom Erak is, and or they could say, isn't that famous kid that plays all over Europe? And the answer would be yes and no. That would be his son. But what's so cool about Tom's story, the not the kid in Europe, but the gentleman who currently lives in the Seattle, Washington area, is he and I are great friends. I've known each other for 15 years. And what you'll discover quickly is this is probably the most type A guy you'll ever hear in your life. I actually gave him some business cards prior to the conversation, and he literally clicks them on the table the entire interview. So if you wonder what that is, that would be my business cards being folded into nothingness. But most importantly, you're going to hear an incredible story of his life. Now, his life is kind of one of those one for the record books. When you're a session musician, you do a lot of gigs. And this guy is an extraordinary player. Monster. I mean, I can't even use enough capital letters to describe what an absolute stud he is as a musician. Bass player extraordinaire, and has done some, well, you'll hear the stories, has played on some really, really cool things, has played with a lot of very well-known artists, and if you ever wondered who those guys are in the background, well, Tom's one of them. So with that, please enjoy this interview today with Tom Erak. Again, close personal friend and great kisser. Thanks, man. Rock and roll. So the nice part about this dude is I've known you a really long time.
Are we recording?
We're recording whenever we want to, and the answer is yes.
Go ahead and push the button.
I just started.
All right.
Because I want to have a relationship conversation.
Look at you. You still look like a kid, man.
I am a 50-year-old, 12-year-old. Yeah. I love you, bro.
Boom.
Yeah, this is good stuff. So
I love you, too.
What listeners are going to discover today is this is a man of many, many, many mighty secrets, and he's also probably the best bass player you've never heard.
God.
And
that sounds weird. I hear myself every night.
Yeah. But my guest is extraordinary. He and I met a number of years ago, of all places in Bellevue, Washington. We were hanging out in a piano store. And he's like, hey.
All you got to do is tell me you're a drummer. And, okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Exactly.
Let's talk.
So I think I said, yeah, my name's Rob and I'm a drummer. And he said, I'm Tom and I'm a bass player. And I'm like, oh, well, that's perfect.
You had all kinds of questions.
Yeah.
Who do you play with? And at the time, I think I was just done doing something with somebody famous. Of course, that got you going.
Yeah. Because, dude, I mean.
Then you told me you could play.
Yeah.
And
you didn't believe
I secretly thought, it's no playing Willie Lunchmeat Head.
That's what everybody. But that's because. But it's because because guys like you and I, without me being arrogant, because you're a way better bass player than I'm a drummer.
Oh, nonsense. Oh, I don't know.
Well, you saw me play once. You've seen me play once. And I remember you came
you're
up to me.
too smart to not be able to play and tell me you could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I mean, you know how it is, especially with stuff like not Survivor. What's the name of that TV show? American Idol, right?
Oh,
you see all these morons go on there, and
Not
they're like,
me.
my mom told me I'm
I don't see
great.
any of them. I don't see any of them.
Yeah.
I can't take it. You know, think about it. Amy Winehouse, in my opinion, probably the most dynamic
Unique
talent to come along in a generation.
Yeah.
Would not have made the first cut.
No, absolutely not.
You know?
No.
And this one, I mean, you watch that Glastonbury concert, the first one.
Yeah.
It's like I can watch that like I can listen to Miles.
Yeah.
10,000 times.
Yeah.
It's
And
every
discover
bar.
something new every time.
Where did that seasoned brilliance come from? My God, what a cosmic gift to the planet, man. Anyway, that kind of talent just doesn't come along.
Yeah, but you know what it is, dude? It's that burning star burns twice as bright thing. You know, the shining star. That's I mean,
Maybe.
she's a member of the 27 Club for a reason, bro.
Yeah, but you know, Aretha Franklin didn't die.
That's true.
You know, Miles Davis.
But
didn't
I'm
die.
going to commit blasphemy. I've never liked Aretha. I can admire Aretha. I don't. I feel like she.
Do you want me
yells.
to help you?
I know.
Okay.
I feel like she yells every note.
Well, you have to understand a couple things.
Okay.
She's out of church,
Yeah, that makes sense.
pure and simple.
Yeah, no microphone either.
Yeah. And so you need to go listen to Amazing Grace, the album that she did live in 72, 73.
Okay.
Pretty much unrehearsed with
Changed my
James
opinion.
in church in LA, small place. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, Rob. I mean, if you got any church in you at all.
I do.
If that doesn't take you somewhere, you got nowhere to go.
Okay. Wow, I love that.
Yeah. And the other one, do you know what happened to Jennifer Holliday? God.
Nothing.
I ran into her. There's a video of her live on stage on Broadway doing the Dreamgirls role and the song she made famous. And I am telling you, you're not going
Yeah.
because you're the best thing ever. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And oh my gosh, that's like more talent than you could swallow.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. So I'm laughing and crying at the same time I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Showing Lisa this gal. Because everybody talks about Jennifer Hudson in this song. I go, wait a minute.
No, I know.
I'm 106 years old. I go, no, it's Holiday. They go, no, Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah,
Right. So I go, oh, okay. So I watch Jennifer Hudson sing this song on YouTube, and I go, oh yeah. She for a contest winner, she's pretty good karaoke singer. Pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, a level above most of them. Way
Yeah.
above.
Yeah.
And I said, but wait a minute, honey. Let me check something. I'm sure it was Jennifer Holiday. Because I remember hearing that for the first time, Jennifer Holiday doing that song. And I remember I had to like sit down and I felt like I was going to defecate. You know, man, it's that whole body, like freak out, laugh, cry, overwhelmed with the biggest talent. Now the bar set so freaking high. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
There's this video of her in this pink pantsuit as she's live on stage on Broadway doing this song. And it is, I don't know. It's just stupid, man. It's just, I'm not kidding. I'm laughing. I'm going, God, crying and laughing at the same time because that's what we do, see?
Right.
This is a communication form. Music's a huge responsibility.
It's cellular.
It's the stuff of which we're made.
Yeah, yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
And I think if you have a gift for it and you take it on,
Yeah.
that it's a huge responsibility to not squander it. And
that's why
really, really be honest with yourself about it. Be the best you can be. Don't touch it unless you're totally committed and immersed and love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to give yourself over to it.
Every time you do that,
Yeah. Yeah. And you can tell who has. You can always tell who has.
Absolutely.
It's not just the obvious chops of rehearsal and preparation.
No.
It's the intangible thing.
it's what happens when the deal goes down.
Right. Have you ever heard that commercial? It's on the radio a lot. In fact, I heard it yesterday talking about the musical sound of our DNA.
Yeah. But there was something else. Go on.
Well, my point being is that we are created in a way that the math of our DNA, if you just cut up those 8 different variations and make them as notes, we are walking chords. We're walking inversions.
Well,
we're right,
yeah.
And we're unique. We're unique. There's so many combinations. We're unique.
The oldest standing structures in the world are cathedrals.
Yeah.
And all the arches and all the architecture and the math is absolutely
divine.
It is absolutely music.
Yeah.
They don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg.
Yeah,
Did the architecture come first? Is it coincidence that the harmonies are the same numbers?
Yeah.
You see,
yeah. How does sound bounce
I have a
across
friend
the walls?
I have a friend who worked at Los Alamos for 25 years.
Where? Los Alamos?
Yeah. And he's one of the best minds in the world. He makes bets with Stephen Hawking.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, this guy's a freak. He's a freak. And
in the best kind of way.
Yeah. And so after 25 years, in top secret research and stuff, stuff that goes to
the stuff that
you used to drive underwater.
We knew.
That stuff you drove underwater.
Yeah.
Okay. He was trying to blow it out of the water with lasers. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so there's still, he can't talk about hardly anything.
No.
I ask him 3 or 4
I
questions
still can't
a
talk
year.
about anything.
I know you can't.
Yeah, it totally
but
sucks.
At least I understand now.
Yeah.
Because I ask him 3 or 4 questions a year. And we have a deal. If I ask him a question, instead of lying to me, he acts like I didn't ask the question. He's just silent, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where was I going with that, man?
We were talking about math and music and
so, yeah. So he's head of quantum physics at Yale now. And if I get scientific with him, because I'm fascinated by quantum physics, particle physics, stuff like that.
Right.
And he can't answer half of it. He's going for the Nobel Prize in a couple of years. He helped Einstein with a Casimir effect and all this great, he's a brainiac.
Yeah.
But if I talk to him about Mahasamadhi or something, he's like, interesting.
Yeah.
When I tell him, well, okay, so like the Van Allen belt, dude, doctor, the Van Allen belt, they say you can't pass through it. But so what about the guys that went to the moon and back? He goes, oh, are you a conspiracy theorist now? Are you a truther now? I go, no, I just want to ask somebody in the field, what's your answer to that?
Right. How do they penetrate?
He says, oh, did you love Capricorns?
I
go, no.
Capricorn 1.
No, come on, man. I said, Steve, come on, man. Give me a break. He goes, okay, here's my answer. Several guys went to the moon, they went through it, and they came back.
Yeah. I love it. That's his answer. Flat.
And you know what that is, don't you? From what you did.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I liked you right away.
Yeah. Because you asked and I didn't
I
tell
asked, you? No. Well, not only that, but I did. I said, wanted to know where you grew up.
Yeah.
What'd you do after that? Blah, blah, blah. And you told me about your endeavors in the military.
Yeah.
Can I talk about that?
Yeah, of course. You can talk about it. I'm not going to talk about anything I can't talk about.
Of course. So. Well, but you were a submarine guy.
Yeah.
And my dad's Navy.
Yeah.
And I just happen to know, because I'm a curious guy all over the place.
Yeah, you're going to ask enough questions.
The best and the brightest in the Navy either go to intelligence or they go underwater in submarines.
Yeah.
They don't want anybody even being scrubbing the floors on a submarine unless you're a brainiac.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you told me that, and I go, oh. Well, I know guys that are, if you're on a submarine, it's even more like being a pilot. It's more than that. Because the best and the brightest of jet fighter pilots, unless they become test pilots or aeronautical engineer / pilot or get their astronaut ticket.
Right.
And I have a couple friends, a guy that flew the medevac jet for 25 years and was a test pilot. Those guys are special.
Yeah. It's not just top secret. There's a big vetting program.
It's like our business.
Yeah.
There's a big wide chasm between
the 1%ers.
Like drummers. Let's talk about drummers.
Okay.
Am I about to be arrogant?
Are you?
Well, kind of, a little bit. I know what the level I sit at, and I know what other people sit at, and I know that there's a chasm.
It's like pro golf. The best,
absolutely,
the best country club pro, the best guy at your country club, the scratch player.
Yeah,
he thinks he's a really good golfer, and he is. But the top 100 PGA guys, they're on another planet.
Yeah.
If they come to your club, they're going to shoot 12 under.
Yeah, easily.
And you don't
every time.
That's right. And you don't understand that.
Yeah.
You don't really, because you don't go out and play with it.
Yeah, it's a whole nother leap.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same in our bit. There's a lot of analogies between golf and music. I could go on for days about this. But the thing is, the local guy, this is the best local drummer, and he's good, man.
You talking about Ben?
I'm going to talk about anybody.
Okay.
Oh, certainly not him.
Okay.
No.
Well, because I was about to question your...
He's in the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember the first time I played with a world-class drummer. Let's just call him world-class.
Yeah.
Because the best local guy thinks he got lucky, thinks the world-class guy got lucky, and he can play as good as him. Yeah. And on tour, every night, and in the studio, 2 different art forms, but nonetheless. Yeah. Well, the first time I played with a guy that was world-class, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because our job, we play the same acts. It takes 2 of us to play it.
Yep.
And it's always going to be different. Every world-class drummer has his own thing, his own voice, because you have to have that.
And you really do have it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The thing is, I don't care what it is. If you're world-class, I know it immediately, and I'm just so happy.
Yeah, same here.
And it spoils you forever.
Yeah. I know.
It really wrecks your life.
Yeah.
Because, I
played with, I think, 2 world-class bass players in my life.
It's a big deal,
and
isn't
most
it?
of them are just, and when you have it, I remember I was on the East Coast.
It makes your job so easy.
I played with this cat, and it was just like...
I know.
Like he made me a million times better, and it was like I was already
and
really
you don't have
legit.
to do anything either.
Yeah. It was mind blowing. It was mind blowing. So
I
good.
know.
So good. It's like I'm just getting goosebumps just remembering going back. That was '89.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Oh man, that's so sad. I have no idea what this cat's name is either, but he's so good. So sick.
There's a guy in town. The first guy I played with that was world class. Never did become famous, but he was like a prodigal genius. Kep's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Kep's like the Elvin Jones of the Northwest.
Yeah.
But the Tony Williams of the Northwest is Bob Davis.
Oh, okay.
And Bob Davis, we hired him in this band that I was in with. It was such a good band. And this guy could take he could take the end of a disco song like The Hustle or something and make it sound like make his floor tom sound like a freaking timpani,
Really?
Powerful. And he was just so
What
gifted.
happened to him? He died?
No.
Okay.
God,
he just got out of the biz?
He's wonderful.
Okay.
Well, he's like Jerry Greer, one of those recluse geniuses,
Okay.
Not everybody wants to perform because why? And I dig that, man.
Yeah.
I just started performing again recently because, I don't need to go down to, I can't say the name of that business. But I put duos and trios together and tried to do some stuff, but they don't want, most of these small places, if I want to do something really cool, like play piano, sing, or play bass and sing something small, or play, cool stuff, and I'm going to draw a crowd and I'm going to keep people there because that's the way I do things.
Yeah, when you played that show I saw last month.
Yeah.
First of all, it was the first time I got to sit that close to you and just watch you go, and I knew you were probably putting on a little for me, which was cool.
No, not
really.
At all.
You weren't.
Well, that band allows me. They want me to do what I do.
It's free. Well, I'll tell you this: watching you, dude, was. I mean, I literally went home to my wife and said, "I gotta go play with Tom somehow."
Yeah.
Because it was really, really beyond inspiring. It actually freaked me out.
Oh, dude.
No. I mean, no.
I know.
But
You're telling me. Thank
just
you.
like seriously, holy shit. What was that? And it's because you do something very few players do. You control your acts and manipulate your acts. You actually get your acts to come to you. That is really different. You don't play your bass. You bring your bass to you. You actually make your bass speak a voice you want it to speak. That is what sets you apart, Tom.
Well, that's saying that it's got its own voice. That's everything to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
your DNA.
That's all I ever wanted to do is have my own voice on that.
I mean, but I'm telling you, dude, that's your DNA. Going back to that DNA, thing I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
I've never seen anybody spend so much time manipulating tone on a bass that didn't get in the way of the song. I've never seen that ever.
Thank you.
Ever. And I'm not exaggerating, Tom. It was unbelievable. Really.
Oh,
so I mean,
so
I
nice.
was just
That's
like,
so nice to
honey, I
hear.
got to find a way to get behind my kit and just go play a 6/8 shuffle with Tom for the next 3 hours. Yeah. I mean, it would just be. It would be.
Yeah. I love that groove.
Oh God, it's
At
so
any
much
rate.
fun to play.
It's a pretty shuffle.
Yeah, the pretty shuffle.
just call it 3 on
except the
2.
Rob Jones version of it.
Right.
So
I just call it 3 on 2. You know. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. And that's what it is. It's all it is Carol of the Bells. Dun, 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 dun,
There you
dun,
go.
dun, dun,
Then you go.
Yeah, exactly. Toss in a 5-tuplet every once in a while. Get a little zappa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been wanting to ask this because I've known you for 15 years now. And
You know what the first lesson I give a lot of players is?
what?
I don't care what instrument, sax or anything. The first lesson I give them is do this.
Like subdividing? Right.
Right. Then back down. And then be able to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable doing that I call it the rhythmic scale. You got to shift between triplet feel and straight time.
Right.
Without even thinking about it, or it's not going to swing. You're not going to play jazz. You're not going to, you're not going to.
You're not going to understand.
You don't
space.
really understand
You're
what
not
you're
gonna
doing.
understand space.
You just don't understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't care what instrument you play.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
even bluesy, swampy New Orleans stuff is, that.
Right. The stuff that feels like it's falling off the cliff constantly.
Yeah. It's like the early Elvis records where half the guys are playing straight time and the other guys are swinging.
Yeah, that was crazy stuff.
Oh, you know, I'm be found.
Yeah.
He dictated the groove with that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a walk up to the preacher.
Yeah.
Let him sing. That.
Yeah.
Oh, he dictated the groove, man.
Yeah. And he never pushed either.
See, there's a guy, him and Bob Dylan. I'm so sick of people even talking about him. They have no right. Now they're so iconic. We make fun of them.
Right.
Nobody listens to them anymore. You think these guys are that big because they didn't know what the.
Yeah.
No, don't tell me Bob Dylan can't sing.
Yeah.
Listen to him like an instrument.
Yeah.
He could take a simple blues and rephrase it every verse.
Yeah.
His pitch is on the button. Come on,
It's
you
the
write
timbre of
those
his voice.
progressions.
You might not like the sound of his voice, like the
cares?
tone and the twang, but it's what he's doing in between the space.
Yeah, he
It's
wouldn't
all
have made
that
the first
stuff.
cut either, along with
No,
Joe
none of these
Cocker,
guys would have.
along with
None of these
with the
guys.
Ray Charles wail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only guy that would have made it was Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down.
But that guy's got a killer
And her-
voice. She really does have a killer
That's
voice.
a hard song. Never gonna let. That's
Yeah.
a hard song to sing.
Say goodbye. I can't do it.
Say
Yeah.
goodbye.
I go flat. But so what I always wondered about you, knowing you for 15 years, is how do you survive with the amount of energy you have? I mean, you're one of the skinniest guys I know because clearly you're always going. You're you're not even type A. You're like type triple A.
Well, if
So-
I like you, I am.
So how did you weather school? How did your parents handle you? Tell me, go back a little and tell me how you grew up.
Well,
I know your father passed away a year ago, so that's a whole other story.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But okay, school. All I cared about when I was sitting in school, usually I'd be looking out the window and I'd be going. with my pencil or something.
Right. Daydreaming.
Tom. Sorry. Tom.
Yeah. You would have been medicated today.
Absolutely.
And that sucks.
Fortunately, my mother would never have allowed that.
Yeah.
Everybody that I know, I swear to God, every compelling, gifted musician, every bright guy, every bright woman that I know with degree in philosophy and is engaged in the world and helping kids out and stuff, they all have ADD. Yeah. Every single one of them.
I call BS on that stuff.
No, man, this is a sign that something is inside of a person. Don't think they can't focus. Are you kidding me?
It's just not
Watch
what they
me
want
focus.
to focus on.
Thank you. And so in school, I would get A's and I would flunk. One or the other.
Yeah. Same here.
One or the other. If my teacher...
It was this engagement. They need
That's all that mattered.
engagement, and they don't need textbook versions of engagement. They don't need you to learn like most kids learn. They need you to learn and embrace Tom Erak.
Conceptual. Right. An in-class essay of 500 words for a final in senior year. Do you understand the thematic aspects of the snows of Kilimanjaro? And kids are sitting there writing, screaming, and going nuts. And I read it, I read it.
Yeah.
So I wrote a poem. And I got up in about 20 minutes, and I walked out of the class. I'm done. Teacher, But the poem was about the thematic aspects of the snows of Kilimanjaro. And she wanted to know if I got it.
Yeah.
And I got it, and I got an A.
Yeah.
Now, some teachers would go, don't come back.
Right.
Smart ass.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Seeing how far you can push.
Yeah, they tried, when I performed in high school, they'd try to pull a plug, at assemblies.
Really?
Because I was doing...
Because you were
because I was doing a Jimi Hendrix song or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, or doing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You were going outside the boundaries of what is acceptable behavior, whether it was your instrument or how you interacted with others.
Well, fucked up their bell curve.
Yeah.
And it was a prestigious high school. Yeah, my son, same thing.
So tell us about your son, so our listeners know who your son is.
Oh, my son is Tom Erak. He's let's see. If you're maybe 35 or less, you probably know who he is. He's a famous rock star. He has a band called The Fall of Troy, and he's. Can I say?
Yeah.
I wonder if he wants to fuck him. He's 31.
Yeah.
And
he's played with Vi and all kinds of people.
Oh, he's a few years ago, Alternative Press magazine. You know that magazine? It's a good rag worldwide.
It's one of the few.
Yeah, that and Kerrang. They both voted him the best in the world. He beat out the Mars Volta guy. And so he calls me from New York or something. He goes, "Did you see the?" I go, "No." He goes, "Go down to KFC and grab that mag. Grab that rag."
That's awesome.
I go. I call him back. And I go. I said, "Remember the 3 rules, Thomas." That's what I'll tell you. The 3 rules of show business.
Okay.
And every band he's been in, the guys he's toured with, backstage he's told them this. And I've had guys call me and tell me that they framed it and put it on their front of the van, or they put it in their office or something. I said, "Thomas, you're going to be a rock star, and there's nothing I can do about it, nothing you can do about it. You're screwed. You're going to either live with it or off of it. You're an artist. So here's the 3 things that will take you down. Privately and publicly, if you're a rock star. Here they are. When you start touring with big guys, you'll see what I'm talking about, because you're going to go open for them like the Deftones. You're going to think, oh, man, they're rad, man. They're so smashed on stage. No, they're not. They got their wife with them backstage, and they're going to have an amazing drummer, because you can't last 18 years on the road and have a shitty drummer.
Right.
Okay, so I was right. That's another story. Yeah. So anyway, I told him, here's the 3 rules, pal. Here's the 3 things that will take you down in the biz. Intoxicants. Number 2, bad, what does Donald Trump call it? Not a kitty. You know what I mean. That's number 2.
Not a kitty.
Yeah. Intoxicants and the...
Yeah. Bad...
Pussies.
Yeah. Bad choices. Bad feminine choices.
Bad relationships.
Yes.
That are home and calling you.
Yes.
And when you're miserable and lonely and don't know where you are in Cleveland, and you're pretty sure you're still in Des Moines and you're not sure, and it's bad, and you've been out there too long, and it's so scary, and people are tempting you with all kinds. It's just bad. And she calls and goes, hope you're having fun with your partying friends. Okay, so anyway, having no idea how. Yeah, I just thought I'd call your office and tell you, fuck. Anyway, the third one is believing your own press, good or bad. If you can't take it, don't read it. And think about that.
Yeah.
If they take you to task and tell you suck, hey, you do it.
Yeah.
Come on up here. Come here.
Yeah.
What? And besides,
own your shit.
Who are you?
Yeah.
And if you believe it on the other end, Thomas, that you're the best in the world, what I told him was, well, at least you're smart enough to know that I'll play circles around you, pal.
And arm wrestle you.
Yeah. Well, that was divine intervention.
Yeah.
But he won state titles in high school for drums, drum and bugle corps.
Yeah, because he plays a lot of instruments.
Drum and bugle corps. Yeah. His hands are stupid. Dude,
yeah.
I mean,
really fast.
And drum and bugle corps.
Yeah, it's tough stuff. It's Chop City.
Most of the heavy duty guys that I played with have been through that when they were kids.
Yeah.
Because you know your rudiments.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah, you
kind of
gotta.
You gotta.
Yeah.
Or you're not. That's a big deal. You ever go see that stuff?
Yeah, of course.
The Vanguard.
I've participated.
Oh man, that's.
I never
and march at the same time diagonally.
I was never a fan of it. Personally, as far as I'm a fan of watching it because it's amazing.
If you see it live, it's powerful.
Participating in it
hard.
was not my thing. Well, I wanted to do other stuff. I've always been a set drummer. I always wanted to be behind the kit.
Yep.
I didn't need to be the focal point, but I always dug driving the band. That was my thing.
Thomas did too. He just was a drummer.
Loved driving the band.
He just loved, and he's a really good drummer, right?
Yeah.
But I had stuff laying around the house, and I had I'm the world's worst blues guitarist. I can't play the guitar. But although I'm practicing every day now, trying to learn how to play the guitar.
Nice.
People think some people, when they see me play, go, he's a converted guitar player. That couldn't be more than that doesn't make any sense to me. But I know what they mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see these guys playing 6-string basses on Austin City Limits, and I go, well, I guess that's one way to look at it.
I mean, but the thing is you own your instrument, and I think that's why people. And when I say own it, I mean you like rape it.
You got to have your own voice.
You totally do. I watch you. You were freaking raping your bass.
Isn't that the final thing if you're involved in the noble endeavor?
Probably.
Whether you're a singer or a drummer, I mean, you got to have. And you don't have to try to sound like you when you start recording either. No. That was a big lesson I learned. You don't have to sign everything off. It'll sign itself.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. And the funny thing is those subtle little nuances, those little things that creep through the cracks, they're there and they're present in everything you do. I can hear a song by Queen that I've never heard. Meaning, let's go back to say Queen 2 and some B-side.
Name somebody else besides Queen.
Well, Roger Taylor is not a great drummer, but what I'm
What are you driving at?
What I'm driving at is
sorry.
that no, he's a terrible drummer. He's a terrible drummer.
Yeah, wow.
But he happened to be in the right place.
It can happen.
But my point being is that I can hear a B-side off of Queen 2 because I don't have the record. I've never actually listened to it. Never. And you can play it for me, and I'll recognize it's Roger Taylor because he does this weird thing on the hi-hat.
He has his own voice.
Only he does.
Absolutely.
And I'll absolutely know it's him.
Sure. I mean, Miles Davis in one note.
Absolutely.
And he's like, he's elusive.
Yeah.
You try to guess the next phrase that Miles is going to play.
You can't.
You try to tell me the next.
Even when you've heard it.
Try to tell me the next line. How Frank is going to phrase the next line of his Torch song.
Yeah.
Or anybody, they're all like that. Mike Derosier is, people don't realize Mike Derosier can play anything you put in front of him.
He's a really fat
player. My son has virtuosity on the guitar that if I could put a George Benson piece of work in front of him, and he could do that.
Yeah.
He's not drawn to it. He's a very original, unencumbered genius.
Yeah.
And on the other end, I also like he and I have a good time together. But he's powerful like me. You know, have you ever been in a band where some guy thought he had it all together and you're rehearsing, and you know that he doesn't know what he's talking about?
Of course.
So
isn't that almost every band you've been in? There's always a guy.
All I expect from people is that if you do know what you're talking about and you try to help them along, get them
right.
Because who the hell wants to rehearse?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Come prepared. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if some guy's going, okay, that's an A7, and you're going, bullshit, that's an A11 or a sus. Come on,
right.
And you're just thinking this stuff, or you know, I can just tell this guy is playing Sexual Healing, and he thinks it's an A because it starts on A, but it's in D.
Do you know how hard it is to be a drummer and to hear it? Because I sit behind the band for 45 years, Tom. I hear all the clams and all the mistakes, and I hear when the guy's playing a ninth and doesn't think he is. I hear all of the stuff and say, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And then they go, well, you're the drummer. How could you possibly have the ear to understand?
No, I'm a musician.
Yeah.
You're the drummer.
Yeah. You know?
You're the one hammer on your axe. So look, if you're that guy, the only thing that annoys me is that if you're that guy and you say, okay, whoa, wait a minute. Here's what we need to do. We need to put a tag on this song, and just so you know, the progression is 5 6 4 1. It's not. Right. It's not 1 2 5 4. You're mistaken. That's why your solo sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Because you're playing an A dominant, and this is a this is a very pentatonic D song. What? What? I go. No, wait a minute, sax player. What song? I'm talking to a famous sax. This is a true story.
Okay.
Playing Sexual Healing with a famous sax player, and his mode's fucked up on the solo. And I want him to carry on, man.
Yeah.
So we're on break, and he's at the bar. I go, yo, what key is concert key? Is Sexual Healing in? He goes, A. I go, it's in D, dude. It's in D. He looks at me, and this guy's a good music.
Well known
jazz. And he goes, really?
What? And he goes, what? Did he literally say what? As though
what? Like what, man? How did I miss that? I said, just because it starts on the 5. It starts on the 5, okay?
Yeah.
It's 5 6 4 1.
Music theory says last note.
Where's this resolving to, Jim?
Right.
And he just tipped his glass up, and he knows me well enough to know that I don't say shit. See, Rob.
Yeah, you're not.
I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay? If you know me, you know that about me. I don't do that unless I know. I know what I'm. Okay? Respect my gift. I do.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you either hate me and think I'm arrogant or trying to blow you off the stage or whatever. You don't get it, pal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make you sound great.
Wow.
Okay, so the next time he played it, he was wonderful. See, I respect that.
Yeah.
But the guy that goes,
Yeah. I got it. That guy?
You don't got it?
Yeah.
And
it's got you.
Besides, it does, and you know what? Forget it. You don't swing anyway. So it doesn't mean a thing.
Okay, that's good. Okay, now we got that. We got that, Tom.
We got a wet really bad. You should try that. Among 10 people you don't know, you're at dinner and you go, excuse me, I got a wet really bad. And then watch them all. You'll know who you're with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Be prepared to say it twice, though. You have to, because somebody's going to go, what?
Yeah.
I got a wet really bad. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Some will laugh. Some will go, what the fuck? What's wrong with that guy? You know what I was just thinking?
Yeah.
You asked me, what do I do with all this energy? The reason you see this energy, don't think I can't lay around in sweats and read the paper and scratch myself all day, because I can. But I'm out of breath. I was playing ping pong for a second.
We took a short break for those of you who couldn't hear the edit.
I still got my serve, man. Nasty. Even I can't return it. Plus, I'm 106 now, you know. It changes things.
106 in elf years.
Anyway,
what are you now, 60?
Do I have to tell?
Yeah. I'm 50.
I'm 100.
I'm 50.
60?
Yeah, I don't know how old you are. I knew you were 10 years older than me. Aren't you? You're taller than that?
Big guy. Okay, I don't. What do I care? My birthday's the day after Christmas this year. I'll see, my aunt used to say, it's the same old 6 and 7. What does that mean?
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, so my thought was this energy. You experience it because I love music so much that it changes my soul comes out when I'm around people that, you know what I mean?
That appreciate it.
If I'm around...
that understand.
Yeah, if I'm around people that are really into... I don't know.
No, I can explain it for you.
What is it?
When I saw
I'm
you...
ignited.
When I saw you that night that you played that show, when I came out to see you, and I told you I was going to be there.
Well, I'm performing then. That's all me, baby.
But when you showed up, I watched you because I had been parked in front of the venue before you drove up.
Oh.
So you drove up.
Parked right in front, too.
Yeah. You drove... You walked around the back to that back door.
Yep.
And you looked like... a dude who was just kind of being a dude. And then I walk up, you turn around, I go, "Hey, Tom." And you look at me for about 5 seconds because we hadn't seen each other in a long time. And you looked at me and you went, "Hey." And then you went, "Oh, hey, dude." And you lit. And you stayed lit from then on. And it wasn't because of me. It was because what you just said, that I understood who you are.
You're that guy.
And I lit you on fire.
You're an artist, man.
I love that. It's just like freaking catalyst, giant.
Well, now I'm around, it's like Lenny Bruce said, ladies and gentlemen, it's a thrill night for the teenagers. It's a thrill night for the Elvis Presleys. No, it's a thrill night for me because finally I'm surrounded by men of the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, gentlemen, there'll be no individual hustling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just love what I do so much.
Yeah, I know.
And that's a lot. My life has gone on. I was in cover bands for, good one, the best.
Yeah.
And I lost my shit. I lost my voice.
Yeah.
What
was your biggest professional get? Was it Meisner?
Well, it depends on. You mean monetarily or prestige?
You don't have to disclose anything you don't want to disclose, but I'm curious what you thought was the one that the one that you said, okay, whatever that you bought, that you arrived or whatever.
The best band I ever played with, the best musicians I've ever toured with, was the first really good break I got playing with Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
And we broke, he was at his peak when I played with them. I played every single talk show. And
that's 77, 78?
8.
Yeah.
8, 9, I think it was.
Yeah. So right after Ships popped, right?
Even now, and the one, Can't Smile Without You, which he thought was funny. I thought it was funny too. It was like a burlesque rocket girls.
Yeah.
What do I mean? Ziegfeld girls.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah, anyway.
Ziegfeld Follies.
Yeah, with the retard and the the obligato.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a leg kicker, of course.
You. Yeah. It's got the kick. Yeah, the Rockettes.
And I'm doing that thing going like it.
Yeah.
It's like in New York,
Yeah. Very much.
It's Rockettes. The news.
It's Rockettes. The 5'3" kick.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So. And Manilow comes in for rehearsal, and we're doing that song. And he goes, "I don't know why I'm doing this. I just don't. But I kind of like it."
Yeah.
Okay, so that band, those guys were all hardcore, seasoned New York jazzers.
Right.
The percussion player was a Puerto Rican genius. I mean, everybody.
Was it Mingo Lewis?
No. The piano player is a household name. Anyway, the best guitarist.
Barry wasn't playing the piano on that tour.
It was.
He just stood there and sang.
He said his name. It was. I'm bad about this.
That's okay.
Man. But I saw him on television.
It's okay. But Manilow was the thing.
That was the first
happened.
thing. Yeah, and that was the first big time drummer I heard too.
Was that Hal Blaine?
It was the guy who sang Late December back in '60.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
That's how I got the gig. I wanted the gig with the Four Seasons because my guitar player buddy was playing with them.
Oh, okay.
And he said, I don't think I can get you in the Four Seasons. And I go, "You piece of..."
Yeah, you'd let him.
What are you talking? Dude, it's me you're talking. He says, "Well, the bass player, I would interrupt him. There's no excuse for you not at least get me in the door." He goes, "Well, it's Bob Gaudio." He was from the East Coast. Tim was. He goes, "It's Bob Gaudio, man. It's fucking Bob." I go, "Bob, guinea fuck. I don't care who he is. Well, Gaudio, whatever." Bob. He wrote all these songs.
You can't. It's like asking Phil Ehart to jump Kansas.
Yeah, it's
his band.
Can I sing with Bill Medley?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Come on. I didn't get it. So I go down to Vegas and I see Frankie Valli and this drummer, man. Whew, wow. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. And he was the musical director, too. That was the first time I played with a big-time drummer.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out sometimes. So want to hear a good one?
Huh.
Embarrassing? Your Merv Griffin show.
Embarrassing for you or embarrassing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, come on, man. I've got 2 limos waiting for me. I'm in L.A. By the way, all these guys in New York had issues with the first rule that'll take you down.
Yeah.
That I didn't even get.
All the session guys?
These guys from this New York band, every one of them to a man had issues with intoxicants.
Wow.
That were way over my head.
Yeah. Thank God you kept clean, man.
Well, it freaked me out. They'd be in my room doing their thing, and I'd go, wait a minute, I thought I knew you guys a minute ago. You know what I mean? That's what scared me about it. They could no longer. I said, we're in L.A. We got 2 limos. Let's go. Have some fun. We're playing Merv Griffin in the morning.
Wow.
You know, man, I didn't get it. So I'm playing Merv Griffin show. It's like my second gig after the rehearsal.
With Manilow?
Yeah, and we're on Merv Griffin, and I'm hanging out with Ray Brown after rehearsal, you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, I'm sitting there talking to Ray, and I'm just like, and Jack Shelton, I'm talking to him. I love his soul, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we go on, and Spotlight is on Manilow, and he's doing Even Now.
Yeah.
That's big, one of his biggest power ballads. I'm playing it's in B flat.
The fact that you had to say that it's in B flat just kills me.
Yes, it's in B flat. And so I'm playing, and the end of the song is even.
Oh, when he modulates?
No. Now. Okay?
Right.
So there's a pause. The drummer's a musical director. All right?
Right.
These guys are pros. And we're back. I mean, Merv Griffin never let somebody bring their own band on that show. Are you kidding me? We had. I mean, this is a 10-piece band we had, and we're set up. That's how big Manilow was. He was huge.
Yeah,
and
he's the biggest.
He's out there in his white jumpsuit. He's
far.
in front of this crowd, and they're going crazy. He's playing this pin spot on a huge grand, and I'm to his 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm risen above with the drummer.
Yeah.
And it comes to that note.
Is
and
this
it's a
on
B flat.
YouTube somewhere?
And you're holding a. I've been looking for it for years, and there's an F11 or an F sus, and it's holding. He's going even. There's a C, and he's going to go now on B flat. So he starts to do it, and the drummer. I'm looking at him. I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's not on me, bro.
Right, and he's going to use both his hands, and he's going to lightly hit both cymbals, left and right.
Right.
And lean forward and hit those and kind of
right.
fluff them,
little,
right? Not
little,
mallet, just a little rattle.
Little frill at the
and
end.
Then, okay. He makes the arc. He begins his stroke and stops.
Oh, God.
Now.
That's so unfair.
Okay, but here's the point. Big lesson. He's the musical director.
Yeah.
I'm watching. I'm doing the right thing. I go...
Clam.
No, I go, here's what it sounded like. I'm fast. I caught it. But I'm the only one who goes, boop, boop.
Did you stutter too? Boom.
I caught it with my other finger. I went, boop. Because that quickly I do. Because not one single guy in the band, there's 9 other guys.
He's done this before. He's clearly done that move, like not follow through.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
No, he's not ever done this before.
Oh, okay. I thought this was maybe like giving you crap live, right? Like
no,
like
you don't. No, you don't screw around on that level.
No, I wouldn't think so.
They don't pay you for clams. They don't pay you to.
No, I get it.
I mean, you make one mistake with him, you're probably gone.
Yeah.
I mean, one.
It was like Buddy Rich's band. It was really.
But it's not stupid. It's for real.
Yeah.
You can't. Come on, you're a bass player. You can't go play big shows. You can't.
Yeah. It's like when Ray Cooper hit the tambourine at the end of Layla on the you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, Layla, you got me on my
that
knees,
version.
Layla.
Yeah.
do do do.
Right?
Okay. Lay it down, please lay it. Last time, doom doom. Darling, won't you ease my way? He hits the tambourine when he's
He
not
keeps
supposed
going.
To. He keeps going because he thinks
He's
it's
on
one more
tempo
time.
and he doesn't. Oh.
Right, and they retard on him, and he hits it one more time. And if you watch the live video,
That's the very stuff I'm talking
you
about.
see him go clunk, and then he puts his head down like, oh,
Okay.
shit.
What did Clapton do?
He just
Because he's a dick.
yeah, he didn't look back nothing.
Okay, here's what happened to me.
He just looked at his mic and he went.
I'm hanging there. I'm out. I mean, I don't have any pants on or any underwear. I go boop, and Manilow, God, man,
On
before he
TV.
sings on TV, this camera's on him, and he's looking at the audience,
much.
and before he sings the last note, he turns his head to 3 o'clock and looks right dead in my shit for a second, goes back and sings the note. Now.
Oh my
Now,
Lord.
We're leaving.
That's
We're leaving.
destruction
We're
time.
leaving, and the drummer is in the limo with me and my buddy, the guitar player, and the percussionist. There's 3 limos. And we're in one of them.
Oh.
And I said to him, "Am I done? Am I gone?" And he smiles and he turns around, looks over the back seat, and he goes, "Probably."
Wow.
Okay, here's what happened. I got so lucky. The next day, we played Carson. You know what? That happened on
That was on Merv Griffin?
here's how I redeemed myself.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Merv Griffin. It was Dinah Shore or Carson or
One of those.
Mike Douglas
Yeah.
or
It's probably Douglas, actually, now that I think
it might have been.
Because he had the morning show. Merv Griffin had an afternoon show, right?
Well, they all taped about 5:30.
Oh,
so anyway, the next day we're doing Merv Griffin at the Merv Griffin Theater, and I still had the gig. He didn't have time to fire me, I guess. You know, and those guys from New York thought it was funny. Even if I got fired, they still thought it was funny. You know, I was among men.
Yeah.
I did.
You couldn't, and you really couldn't give the drummer a rash of anything, right?
He's
'Cause
driving.
It's like,
What, dude? I'm the only one that.
yeah,
come
but
on.
I mean, he cued you in a very
There you-
clear
oh, I-
cluster F way.
If I saw him today, I'd go, "You really tried to do me
yeah.
dry.
That was really
You really
shitty.
tried. You did me dry."
Yeah.
You know.
Come through. It's like a balk on the baseball
Okay,
diamond.
but those
Don't
guys
balk.
think that's funny. Well, you're the only dipshit that played a note, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, never be first.
There was nerves, too.
Never be first. Oh, nerves?
Yeah.
That was my first big gig. I literally had Kleenex in my back pockets.
Yeah. You were
Between-
scared to death.
Scared shitless. I would do something just like that.
Yeah. And sure enough, you
Sure
did
enough,
something like
the next
so,
day.
so
the next day, we're playing Merv Griffin. He goes out and he does a song. Fine. He does another song, and Merv Griffin is really spontaneous. He's crazy. He was hitting on Susan Anton all afternoon. It was
Susan
pathetic.
Anton of
it was
all people.
pathetic. Yeah, it was pathetic. Even I was talking to Tony Curtis. I go, "I saw your first movie last night. Didn't have many lines." He laughs because he plays a deaf mute.
Yeah.
So anyway, and he's going, "What?" I go, "What's the deal with him, Anton? What's so compelling?" He goes, "I know." So, you know, it was pathetic. So anyway, we're on Merv Griffin, and Merv Griffin, Manilow finishes his same song. He's done with his performance. Merv Griffin keeps the cameras rolling, comes out and walks up to the grand piano and says to me, now this band had only rehearsed 2 songs to do TV at this point. 2 songs.
Yeah.
None of these guys, they were jazzers. They didn't know "Oh Mandy."
Yeah. And if the chart wasn't in front of them, they were screwed.
They'd never heard "Oh Mandy."
Right.
Da-da. Merv Griffin comes up and he goes, "Hey Barry, do that one.
Do the famous one.
You
the
know
big one.
and what's the other one?" And it was beautiful,
Na,
man.
na,
It was,
na, na,
and you could see Manilow try to get out of it
Wow.
because
Because nobody was
nobody in the band.
prepared. Yeah.
So
Yeah, Manilow.
he starts to play Mandy, and he just eases into it. And Murphy says, "Yes, play it." Oh man! Now Barry's got to do it. So I have headroom on my Fender. I turn up my volume a little more. With my left hand, I play the bass notes. With my right hand, I'm going 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. Now I got the guitar player in, the drummer knows the groove.
Wow. You saved Barry Manilow's bacon on television. That rocks.
And Barry was not stupid. He was completely aware of what had. He was watching me.
Yeah.
He was watching me call out the changes. And so if you do this, that's 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Oh, Mandy. Oh, you 6 is 4 to 5. But you 5, 5, 5, 5. Oh, man.
Right. Modulation.
So,
Yeah.
So Manilow's freaking out. He's like, this bass player is a freaking genius.
That's so cool.
I know, man. I know. But that's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened.
It's too bad he didn't write you a little letter that said, "Hey, Tom, just wanted you to know thanks for saving my bacon, the big B." You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Did he ever say anything to you?
You know he's gay.
Okay.
Do you know Al Jarreau?
Yes.
Me too.
Yes, I do know Al Jarreau. Yeah. As the listeners now have just gone, what is wrong with you two?
Do you know?
What drugs did you take before?
Do you know John McEnroe? He's not gay.
John McEnroe?
Yeah.
No,
I like John McEnroe.
I hear all sorts of interesting stories about Mac.
I was at a party.
Yeah.
If people want me to tell Hollywood stories, if I'm forced to drop names,
Yeah. You'll talk about Mac, is what you're saying?
no, I'll tell this story. I'm at this Hollywood party. This guy, you remember the song On and On? I just keep on.
Yeah.
Well, that guy was famous for his parties in Hollywood, and he went on to a very successful songwriting career in Broadway and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Steve Bishop.
Yeah.
So he throws parties, and they're legendary. And we're on tour, we're rock stars. Full on, we're playing the Universal Amphitheater or the Greek within a day of this party. We're somebody. So we're invited. So I tell Christy McVie, as I'm drinking with her, that I'm the best player she ever heard in her life.
Yeah. As her husband
she
standing
goes,
right
really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't care though, see?
Yeah. John's a pretty legit player.
Well, I told the same thing to Ann Wilson, and she knew it.
And she got Mark anyway.
Well, because he had blonde hair.
Yeah. He was pretty.
He had blonde hair.
Yeah.
Literally.
I
It.
remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually, Howard Lee. So, and plus,
because
I had
everybody had
done a
blonde
dumb
hair.
thing. I said, you need a bass player to keep up with your drummer. Well, at the time, Derosier was the drummer, and she couldn't, they were on the outs, and Denny was, then
that was before Denny.
Yeah, and then Mossy was trying to get me in the band.
Yeah.
Mossy and Howard. Anyway, I don't want to tell that story. It just makes me sick, but I would have killed myself anyway. I wasn't ready.
Not ready for what? About the whole Heart experience, the whole 85, 86 era?
Maybe that band would have been okay, because Howard and Mossy, they had their shit together.
Because this is like post Passion Works, right?
This would have been when they made more money off one song than they made their whole career.
Yeah.
Although Ann didn't hear the song, she didn't like it.
Yeah.
She didn't like either one of those hits. What About Love?
Yeah.
But the producer, you know who that was? That was the bass player for Led
Zeppelin. Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, we're doing the song, just so you know."
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Do you like me producing?
You're gonna. So I'm gonna throw myself under the bus for this. I didn't know John Paul did it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Did he go under a pseudonym, or is it on?
No, he's a great producer.
I know that, but I didn't know he did that record.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's done well for himself, that guy.
God, he's good.
Yeah.
I watched that O2 concert.
Yeah, it's good.
Those guys. I really miss Bonham, though.
Yeah,
I
Jason's too on top of the beat. He does not play like his dad at all.
No, he doesn't have that thing. Like, I loved it when Plant said, I always thought of us as a funk band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand that, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You bet.
With that
Speaking of your groove, that
sicky
dum,
thump.
dum, that's that groove. That's that groove, isn't it? Let's just play that for want to play that for 45 minutes, just drum bass?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, let's do it.
Okay.
I got my drums out in Fall City. We'll just set up. I got a cage and everything.
Let me enter the address. I'll race you.
Yeah. I can't do it tonight, but we'll do it soon.
Come on, I'm an old man in a Buick, and I'll beat you there.
Okay, so I gotta hear.
Okay.
I gotta hear. So
I've left a lot of stories just
I
hanging.
I know. You're a dick.
But no, I like you.
So I know, and audience
I don't want to
loves
talk
it
about
too.
Barry anymore.
No, I know. Post Manilow.
Oh.
So post Manilow, what happened? Is that when you went to?
After that, I was playing in a club one night, and this guy comes in,
looking sad.
And I can tell that he's somebody, right?
Yeah.
And he has somebody bring me to his table, and he's a producer, and he heard me, man. You know what I mean by heard in quotes?
Yeah.
He heard me. He heard me. And he liked, this guy's a good drummer, Mike Flicker. He did all the hard records.
Yeah.
And I became his house bass player on several projects. One of them being Randy Meisner of the Eagles.
Yeah.
So I did that album, and
You went on the road with him too, right?
oh yeah, we toured the world a couple times.
Isn't that bizarre
I lucked
playing
out
bass
the-
for a bass player?
Randy, I love that guy. You see, Randy's a funk R&B bass player from a band called the Dynamics of Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Randy loved my playing, and what he liked was like "Try and Love Again." I didn't know any of Eagles songs. I never listened to the Eagles when I joined them.
Yeah.
And most of the songs I didn't listen to him play. Never. I just rehearsed them. I did them the way I did them.
I would love to hear your version of Take It to the Limit.
It's on. I think it's on YouTube. We did a live album in Dallas. It was the second or third show we did. And I'm yeah.
Did you keep it as
There's two versions of it.
Did you play it as open as he played it? Or did you add a little tone?
Yeah. There's several songs on there but he liked that, because he liked my playing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, and I'm not,
And you're a good guy, so who wouldn't want to be around you if you're
well,
a
I want to
killer
be
player?
appropriate.
Right,
This guy's amazing.
You know how to fit
This
the
guy's
song.
nobody's a better singer than him.
He's got an incredible voice.
No, he could be absolutely
But he's
more than under the weather.
He's a super introvert, right?
He's just a shy guy.
Yeah, really, really shy.
He's
Painfully shy.
He's shy, and he's really nice.
He wasn't cut out for
He's
the
a
business.
sweet man,
The business ate him, right?
Well,
Wasn't it his wife that passed away recently?
I don't want to talk about her.
Okay. But she's the one that passed
I knew
away
her
recently.
extremely well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
sorry.
an accident. But Randy, when he came out to L.A., those guys, they roughed him up.
Yeah.
It
had to be a tough
You
band.
don't give somebody a psychedelic and take them up in the desert and leave them there
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah. They did that. 72,
You don't do that.
72, 73.
And I understood. See,
Is that all Geffen's
his good
fault?
friend. Look at it this way: his friends, he called them the Egos.
Yeah.
How could you not respect that band? Come on, they're the Beatles of the '70s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Them and Hart. I mean, look at it. Great songwriters, knew how to make a record. Great harmonizers. Come on, let's just be real.
And it sounded great every night.
That's right. And Randy's talent is absolutely unquestioned. And then didn't use it.
Yeah.
They didn't use it. He wrote their first million selling record. They didn't write a note of that or a word of it. But he gave them the writers on it. On Limit. And Randy liked my bass playing because I played a lot like him.
Yeah.
On the tour bus, speaking of Sexual Healing, Sexual Healing was a hit on one tour. It was huge. And
Was that 80, 81?
82,
82.
I do believe.
So that
And
was
the rest of the band
line.
couldn't understand why Randy and I were constantly singing that song and playing it, and also Elvis songs. Couldn't understand that either. So anyway, Mike Flicker came to the club and saw me. He said, "You want to be big?" Just like that. He goes, "You want to be big?"
Wow.
I love Mike. He was cool. He go like, I called him Mike, no problem, Flicker. It was always, no problem, bro. He designed the first K. Smith A studio sonically. His
Really?
architecture, yeah. And he was such a good drummer, dude. I'd love to hear him play sometime. He was so good, he used to do cartoon session work. Think about that.
Wow.
Cartoons,
I had
Warner
no idea.
Brothers. Think about it. That's a straight read.
That's not my thing. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Incidental music, they call it.
Yeah, and you don't get 5 passes.
No.
You don't get 5 passes at anything.
No. You might get 2.
Yeah. I was just listening to some tracks I did with Ben Smith, John Morton, and Norm. We did for out at Triad. If you're making a record, why would you not hire guys like that? That just we didn't do anything more than 3 times. Sometimes he kept the first one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ben Smith breathes like me at a session. You know what I mean? He's a world-class drummer.
Yeah, he is.
You know?
Yeah.
And local guys, why the hell does he still have this? He plays behind. Why does he still carry that? I'll tell you why. Because these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah. It's because everybody plays
He's
on
got
top.
his own voice, and he breathes the way he breathes.
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever hear the Shoveljerk record he did in '95 with the Hemingway brothers?
No.
Oh God,
Was he great?
he's so great. And well, the first time I heard it, I have to admit, I was like, oh man, he's not pushing the song. Seriously, because that's just kind of where I'd come from, and then after a while realizing, oh my God, he's absolutely driving the song, but he's letting it breathe, and he's doing the Phil Collins thing. He's letting it happen around him. He's just not swaying from the beat. And I became really close to the guys in the band. Greg Hjort, the guitar player, is one of my closest friends. He was in my wedding.
What's his name?
Greg Hjort.
Okay.
And anyway, Greg was telling me that when they went in, I think it was at Ironwood that they recorded.
I remember that studio.
And anyway, when they were recording it, they said Ben's sitting over there. He's got his charts, and he's just kind of going like. Dun, 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 dun. He's just kind of making noise, and they're like, "Oh my God, this guy's an idiot." They were just
Whoops.
terrified, right? That he was just the wrong hire, right?
Whoops.
And then they did this song called "Unwind," which was their quote unquote their
How'd
hit.
it feel?
It's fat and sexy.
Like how was it feel? Power ballad or what?
No, it's just a mid-tempo rocker. Yeah, no, it's like
Okay.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah.
Right, that's the beat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And he's doing this thing. And
He's so smart.
He's so smart. And he's playing this, and Greg told me, he said all of them literally went,
That's the way we're playing
and then
it.
realized, oh crap! And then they had to play their notes. Right? They got lost in that opening 4-bar salvo.
There you go.
They're like,
They blew him away.
Right? That wasn't supposed to happen, and it's because their drummer, who they cut out of the band and brought Ben in. So they had a drummer before.
Yep.
He just wasn't cutting it because, again, a lot of great players. And then they brought in new guys.
How smart was Kurt Cobain?
Yes.
Go on.
They weren't prepared. The new guys weren't prepared to do the recording, so Ben did the recording. So Ben just came in
and made him sound like a real band and everything.
Like a real band. And then they went out on the road with their new drummer who pushed every song.
What's the hardest feel? Well, I don't want to set you up.
No.
I've always thought, Mike Derosier said this too, go in the studio and give me 5.5 minutes of 1 and 3, and that's it on the bass drum, 2 and 4.
At 80?
At this tempo. Boom, boom, da.
Well, it's easy for me because that's my thing. That's my kind of thing. I'm not a speed guy.
No, I like Ray Charles time myself. No, I like, whoa.
But you have to have the bass player, Tom.
That's right.
You have to have the bass player that gets
that's the hardest thing to do, though.
DNA, and then they just look at each other, and it just sinks and just happens, and it never sways.
That's right.
But that is so hard to find.
That's that 2-man thing. It takes 2 of us to do this.
It takes 2. You can't do it by yourself.
You cannot do it, and you cannot be not connected.
Yeah. You can do a really good job by yourself, but you can't do it the way it's supposed to be by yourself.
Well, if you're not with me on the tubs, there's a good chance. I hate that feeling of going to it. That's why I don't take locals casuals anymore. I just can't take it. I love you, man, and we've known each other for 50 years. But I get nervous. I think it's me. I start blaming myself. Why do I have to dictate the groove?
Yeah, it sucks.
I could be playing 1/10 of what I'm playing here and having a good time.
Yeah. And Scott Adams, the sax player, the guy who is in Spike and the Impalers.
No, I don't know him. I met him.
But you've heard him play.
Not really. I couldn't say that.
He
was on the gig that night.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a truly great player. And he even said to me,
somebody said you must know him. Yeah, but I don't. He's a nice guy.
Yep. Great guy and a killer player.
Legit.
And he even said to me, he goes, I just don't understand why anybody wants to try to make a living at this. In other words, just be it or go away, because that's not what this is.
Have you ever connected your paycheck with what you did that night?
No.
Have you ever been on stage and thought, let's see, that was 120 there.
No.
That song. Okay, that was.
Although I will tell you this, I did a military gig in 1990 at an admiral's daughter's wedding.
Did you play with the Navy stage band, man?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
What, you didn't know that?
I thought you told me that once, but that's all I need to know about you.
Yeah. That's
all I need to know about you,
So
man.
I did a show.
You got to be bad.
Well, thank you.
You got to be bad, dude. And that's music. See what I mean? If you could do that legitimately, big band jazz and jazz, you can't get there unless you know this shit that we need to know.
Well, that's true.
Go on.
So I did this Navy Admiral daughter's wedding, and
you should wear that on your forehead.
For 4 hours.
I was the drummer for the frickin' Navy jazz. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I
know a guy like you would appreciate it, but it's amazing how many people don't understand.
Well, that's because they're fraudulent locals.
Okay. I love you, Tom.
Well,
so I did this gig up in a rotunda, basically sitting up above while the wedding was going on down below. We provided everything from the wedding march to you name it. We provided all the music for the night, and basically it was a real book night. We played all the stuff from real book, Pensativa, Begin the Begin, all that stuff, right? A little bit of everything at about
Little Montuna,
right, at about 65 dB the whole night. Just
well, then you're good. If you can't play your big stuff soft,
and all you got is your brushes, and I'll never forget this. I got so tired because we didn't get a break. We had a 4-hour continuous performance.
A hellathon.
I had my head laying on my floor, Tom.
Oh my God!
I was like this, and I was
swiping the brush.
I was stirring,
stirring the snare head,
no bass drum, and a hi hat on 2 and 4.
Cocktail set.
We're talking like 25, 30 minutes in a row.
That's
just
not right.
Absolutely burnt.
That's not
but you know
right.
what? But so this is 1990, 1991, and the Admiral paid us $500 each.
Really?
Which is a hell of a good night.
Really?
And actually fed us prime rib.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great night. But it was torture. It was a hella gig. It was torture.
The hell fun.
Yeah.
Somebody ever been?
You didn't know I did
the Mark Riley, who I play with. I love Mark Riley. He's the guitar player for that trio,
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. But sometimes I'll have to go. Got a wet now. He goes, "What time is it?" And I'll lie my ass off.
Yeah.
It'll be like 10:20. I'll go 11:10.
Back then, I never had to go pee because I never drank any water. I was dehydrated my whole life.
It's not like I always got to pee. It's just like ideal. Man, that was the closer for that set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't touch that.
Yeah.
Even if we've only played a half hour.
Yeah.
Sometimes you play a song and it was we don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Let that sit right there.
Yeah.
Like I used to love stuff. Like I'd come up, came up on stage one night, packed Saturday night, Seattle, Pioneer Square, absolutely line down and it's the heat of the night.
Yeah.
And I'm opening with the first song. And I go, "Distant Lover," by Marvin Gaye. Distant love.
What were you playing at the
Larry's?
Okay.
And a great band, and in fact, I found a tape of it. And I go, "Distant Lover," right here, and the drummer drops his sticks on the snare drum, drops them, and puts his head down, and is shaking his head from side to side, like, "Are you out of your mind?" And of course, I ignore him.
Yeah.
And I go,
because that's what you do.
2 and 3 and 4. About the fourth bar, you can hear me turn around and go, "Get into it."
Really?
And at the end of it, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great.
Because sometimes
it's so hard to do.
Sometimes that's how you touch an audience. Yeah. You throw them. They think you're going to start with Sex Machine, and you start with that. They think that you're going to open with something, and you give them Tutu by Miles Davis. Yeah. You serve notice.
Yeah. You know what it is, Tom? It's foreplay.
I like to cum every song.
I get it.
I wear 6 or 7 condoms when I go to work.
To me, it feels like it's foreplay. It's just
that's right.
8-11 minutes of just.
This is personal, man.
I dare you to hang with me because I'm going to show you something you've never had.
Isn't this personal?
Yeah.
I mean, I played to an audience as though they're one person, and I'm so glad they're there. And I want them to. I don't want them to like me.
Yeah.
And I love it when they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give them everything, man.
Yeah.
At my age now, I really, when I sing, I mean, man, I cry when I sing sometimes, and I used to fight that real bad. My gal, Lisa, is extraordinary. She has perfect pitch, and a voice of an angel. And I'll sit down at the piano and I'll go, would you sing Danny Boy for me?
Really?
Yeah. And a couple of weeks ago, I've been working on I Love Around Midnight by Thelonious Monk.
Yeah,
It's a great study in tritone exploitation and stuff. It's a great disguised minor blues. It's a brilliant song. It's just something you ought to be able to play in every key.
I agree.
17 different ways.
Yeah.
Smart, genius.
It's
study.
a brilliant piece.
Yeah, it's a study.
Yeah,
it gets you. It gets you around.
Yeah.
You learn something.
Yeah.
So I'm going. Oh, listen to this cut. Listen to how Ella does this. Now Lisa plays guitar and she's a gifted singer, perfect pitch. She learns. Is it rote or note? If I give her "Islands in the Stream" and Dolly Parton's hard part,
right.
If I give that to her, in an hour she'll come back and hit every single note. She's a robot.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wow.
And she can do it a cappella.
Yeah.
It's scary.
All the inflection, everything.
Like Joni Mitchell's "My Analyst Told Me," out of my head. It's in D. She walks in this room right now. I'll go sing the first lick of that. I guarantee you that's going to be D.
Wow.
Right? And
That's so scary.
And never misses a note. It's freaky. It's like, yeah. So
But she can't help it. She's programmed.
The other day she hands me, "Here, honey, this is for you. You've been taking care of Mom for 10 days. You haven't been home. Here, I did this for you." Because I said, "I wish you'd learn this song." She gives it to me. It's a backtrack, and she's singing around midnight. And she's sitting in the car with me, and I'm driving. We're going to this gig, and I go, oh no, and I'm laughing. I'm going, oh, and I'm pushing her on the shoulder. I'm punching her, and I'm crying at the same time. So now I'm crying and laughing so hard I got to pull over at Marysville for a second, and go, "Baby, oh baby, don't ever go. I need you're my Alison Krauss, please, no, please." We got guests?
No, I
don't know.
They're doing something over there.
But I love what we do, man.
Right.
I'm so serious about it.
Yeah, it's so
important. So
important.
much fun, and it's such a big responsibility. And I like what I do now.
Yeah.
And if you come with me, if you come along with me, most of y'all, most of you will find something that's compelling in there that you came to see. You want to see music. That's why you're here, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm a nice guy. And please talk to me if you want to talk to me.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes up to me and says, I will stop and thank them for having the balls to come up and say that to me. They don't know me.
Right.
I could be you know what I mean? The way people think about that.
Yeah.
It's like Derosier said to me one time. I said, "God, you spent a long time talking to that toothless guy." I go, "Remember, I'll tell you had my picture taken with me at Cal Jam 73. And I'm waiting for Derosier. I'm trying to leave. And I go, "You're like mine, man." I said, "Yeah, you will engage with anybody." He goes, "Tom, they paid my bills."
Yeah.
And still do. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Who are you doing this for?
Yeah, that's cool. I admire that.
Yeah, me too. Big time. Big time. Jack Nicholson's a regular guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Glenn Fry wasn't.
No. Not even.
Alex Rodriguez.
Not even.
Want to have a beer with Tiger Woods? Sound like fun? Lance Armstrong? Want to have a beer with him? You're busted, dude. You're busted. Everybody knows you're busted. I'll sue you.
Yeah.
You see, they're bullies.
Yeah.
There's one running for president.
Yeah. I know.
Want to have a beer with him?
No.
I don't want to have a beer with any of them, frankly. I'd have a beer with Obama. Wouldn't you?
I'd have a beer with Obama.
Oh, come on. We talk about soul music and church music.
Well, yeah, he'd never talk about politics, which is why I would enjoy it. Because
he doesn't want to talk about politics.
No, I don't think he's a politician, truthfully.
No, he should be maybe on the Supreme Court or something.
Yeah, he's just a different cat. He's a very, very different cat.
He's intellectual.
So let me ask you this.
Lawyer. Go on.
Before we go, because I got to cut it. I got to cut it. I know people are like, you guys just ramble on. Rob.
Rob,
if there's
will you get in the car with me?
If there's any wisdom, I'm going to hit dicks after this. I don't know about you.
Shay Ricard.
Yeah.
Shay Ricard.
Yeah.
Oh, Seattle could be proud of that.
Dick's Burgers.
Yeah.
If there's anything the audience can learn from you, something that's uniquely Tom, some experience you've had, do you have something that you can share that says, this is what I learned and this is to avoid? And granted, you're probably going to do it anyway, but if I could teach you something today, it'd be X. What would that be?
Well, I mentioned the 3 rules. You mean
3 rules are badass, but
here's what I think. Here's what I think. Especially you fellas. If you have friends, you'd be lucky to have enough friends at the end of your life to carry your coffin. So if you have friends that you've known for a long time, or I'm not just talking friends, I mean somebody that really means something to you, make the effort to love on them, and don't be so competitive about your art form and stuff. Learn to love people for what they are and what they do, and get together with your friends.
Yeah.
Have them to your house and call them and laugh with them, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Friendship is, you're going to end up. You're going to finding out that your family and your friends are all there is. I mean, you're a dad. Yeah. Once you have kids, that's a big deal. You finally find out that somebody's more important than you. Take a bullet for them. Yeah. Well, friends are the next step.
Yeah. You don't know how much your parents love you until
you
have kids.
You know, if there's a God, He loves so big that every bit of love that you get or something from another individual is just a slice of it at one facet or aspect of what the universe is made of.
Right.
So get in there and I love you, man. You know what I mean? You're one of those guys who's just like, I met you and I went, why do I like this
weird fat white guy?
Well, what's not to like? By the way, you look great, man.
You think so?
Deal? You're a stud.
Oh, thank you.
You're hot.
You're
hot, dude.
Sexy.
I love you too, buddy. And I'm proud of you.
Oh, babe.
I love what you've done. I like that you
really laid some accolades on me today, and you know what? The nicest part about it is
it's the truth.
The nice part about it is that when does that get old hearing? It's everything. You know, we don't get compensated for this stuff.
No.
You know, that's everything to me. Thanks for hearing me.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Well, I
you're
love you
a good
to
guy. You're good. Just you're an open soul. Man. You're dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I'll take that.
You're a badass boy. Now let's go play.
All right, bro.
Let's go through that.
All right.
All right.